the same place, right? Persia and Iran. One name makes you think of these epic ancient empires, while the other brings to mind a complex modern nation. So, how are they connected? Today, we're going to dig into the incredible journey of how one became the other.
And that brings us to the big question that's going to guide us through this whole story. How exactly did the legendary Persian Empire, a civilization that once stretched from Greece all the way to India, transform into the Islamic Republic of Iran that we know today?
To figure that out, we've really got to look at the whole picture. We'll start with the land itself, the geography that shaped its people. Then, we're going on a journey through thousands of years of empires and revolutions. After that, we'll decode its very unique political system, and finally, we'll see how its modern economy is fueled by some ancient resources.
All right, first up, let's get this sorted out. Is it Persia or is it Iran? Understanding this is actually crucial to understanding the nation's identity.
So today, its official name is the Islamic Republic of Iran. It's this huge, incredibly diverse nation in West Asia. But that rich culture we see today, it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. No way. Its roots go deep, way, way back to ancient Persia, to the Achaemenid Empire, founded around 550 BCE.
But before we can even begin to understand the people and their history, we have to understand the land they live on. Iran's geography is, well, it's formidable, and it's basically the stage where this entire story plays out.
Think rugged. I mean, really rugged. You've got these two massive mountain ranges, the Zagros and the Alborz, and they essentially form a giant wall around a high central plateau. This natural fortress has isolated the country's interior and has been a huge factor throughout its entire history.
So what's inside that wall of mountains? A really, really tough environment. The middle of the country is dominated by these two enormous salt deserts, the Dasht e Kavir and the Dasht e Lut. We're talking about some of the driest and hottest places on Earth. This makes most of the interior pretty much uninhabitable, with life just kind of clinging on in a few scattered oases. And just to put that into perspective, Iran is huge. We're talking 1.64 million square kilometers. That makes it the 17th largest country in the world. So this vast, mountainous, and very arid land, that's our setting.
Okay, so we've got our stage set, right? Now let's get into the action, the history. This is where we trace that incredible arc from ancient empires all the way to a modern revolution, and this is where we'll find the answer to our central question. The story of Persia as a world power really kicks off with the Achaemenid Empire, founded by the legendary Cyrus the Great. Of course, it eventually fell to Alexander the Great, and after that you see dynasties rise and fall until the Sasanian Empire emerges, a powerhouse that went toe-to-toe with Rome. But the most transformative moment of all came in the 7th century, the Arab conquest, which brought Islam to the region and forever changed its destiny.
But here's the thing. The conquest wasn't the end of the story. It was more like a new chapter. It kicked off what we now call the Islamic Golden Age. Persian culture didn't vanish, not at all. It actually blended with these new influences and just exploded with creativity. We're talking incredible breakthroughs in science, art, and literature. It was a brand new peak for this civilization.
Okay, let's fast forward a few hundred years, and you start to see the building blocks of modern Iran falling into place. First up, the Safavid dynasty. They do something huge. They make Shia Islam the state religion. And that one decision, it still defines Iran's unique identity in the region today. After the troubled Qajar period, a military officer, Reza Shah, seizes power in 1925 and founds the Pahlavi dynasty. This would be the last royal house of Iran, setting the stage for the dramatic revolution of 1979.
And it's under this dynasty that the name officially changes. See, for centuries, the outside world had called the country Persia, a name linked to its ancient past. But in 1935, Reza Shah insisted that other nations use the name its own people had always used, Iran, which means land of the Aryans.
So what was the final spark? Ironically, it was called the White Revolution. This was a series of rapid Western-style modernizing reforms launched by the Shah in the 1960s. But this big push for modernization created a powerful backlash from religious conservatives, led by a cleric who would soon become a household name, Ayatollah Khomeini. The stage was set for a massive confrontation.
That confrontation ended in the 1979 revolution, which didn't just change the government, it created a political system unlike any other in the world, the theocratic republic.
So this new power structure is a unique hybrid. On one hand, you have institutions that look democratic, like an elected president and parliament, but on the other, the ultimate authority rests with one person, the supreme leader, a Shia cleric who has the final say on all state matters. And he, in turn, is chosen by a powerful body of clerics known as the Assembly of Experts.
To really get how Iran works, you have to understand this dual system. The supreme leader is appointed for life and has direct control over the most powerful institutions, the military and the judiciary. The president is the elected head of government, managing the day-to-day administration. But make no mistake, the president serves at the pleasure of the supreme leader, who holds the power to dismiss him.
And this unique political system also oversees a unique economy. So let's look at what fuels the nation. And spoiler alert, it's an economy built on oil.
Iran is, without a doubt, a global energy superpower. It's sitting on the world's third largest proven oil reserves and the second largest natural gas reserves. This immense natural wealth is the absolute bedrock of its entire economy.
But the oil and gas sector is only part of the story. There's another massive economic force at play known as bonyads. These are huge charitable trusts that were formed from assets seized during the revolution. They are tax-exempt, and through a web of companies, they control huge swaths of the non-oil economy.
And just how influential are they? Well, it's estimated that the bonyads control around 20% of Iran's entire GDP. Think about that for a second. 1/5 of the economy, operating with little oversight in everything from manufacturing to real estate. They are a uniquely powerful feature of the country's economic landscape.
So we've journeyed from ancient Persia all the way to the modern Islamic Republic. We've seen a civilization forged by a rugged geography, defined by a monumental history of empires, and reshaped by a revolution that created a system unlike any other. All of which leaves us with a final, fascinating question. For a nation shaped by such powerful forces, what will Iran's next chapter be?